Adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old that are very much not asleep because they're still out of school. So
Mine are in school, and I think about that Delta. That is terrible. Like, I have to imagine if you had a buddy who was in school, like you just want to go to their school and play like the funnest game possible, just in view of their window.
Yeah, it's like that meme with SpongeBob, and they're looking at the vents, like, yeah, having fun.
Yes, Squidward through the vents, like, look at these kids having fun.
Yeah.
But hey, we could talk about this because we always like to remind the audience that just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.
So great week. I wanted to get here live, have a representation. But Jeff, I wanted to kind of assume a character that I've been playing for the last couple of weeks. I thought we could start the show this way and get it good. So I was like don my hat here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everybody get a couple sunflower seeds. Need you to put your knee down. It's time to listen to Coach Trevor. Okay, take a knee, guys. Take a knee. That was really good inning. Listen. Hey, gents, we're in the bottom of the ninth. We've been playing hard all year. This is what it's all about. Okay? Kids are almost out of school. We can see the finish line, guys. But this isn't about your skills. This isn't about your practice. Right now, this is about your heart, gentlemen. Okay? You get on that field and you give 110%. You can't give 110%. Shut up, Billy. We talked about this. 105%, gentlemen. Let's get out there and win it. All right. Yay. So,
I love it. I think that, where did you...
Jeff had no idea I was doing it. So
the surprises are amazing. I love it.
Best, there's nothing like pulling out a visual prop for a audio podcast.
Yeah, well...
That was a baseball hat, everybody. I became a coach for the last 3 weeks for my son's baseball team.
Wow, yay!
It was... I don't know if I was giving... I've been watching my other son's soccer games for years now, right? And greatly enjoyed. I love being on the sidelines, but it's a much more passive experience.
Right.
The ball goes left, all the kids go left. There's not much to do. And also, I never really played soccer as a kid. I don't really know much about it. I really love it. I love watching him for sure. But they kind of run a tight ship. Baseball, which my youngest started this year, is very difficult. It's a very hard game to explain to young kids. Because do you know what a force out is? So, you're on second base.
Yeah, I know it, but my kids have no clue. I don't think they even know 3 strikes.
Yeah. So you're trying to explain to these kids, like, this is how a forced out works. Okay, but if it comes here, you need to throw it to second. So there's just a lot of coaching, and like I know a bit about baseball. I played it when I was younger. Not a lot. I'm not great, but just I got some knowledge. So I don't know if the actual coach picked up on the energy where I'm just sitting there, but I'm just like
that person.
They heard me yelling to him, or just. But he approached afterwards, like, hey, like, if you ever want to grab a glove and like hop on the field and help out, like, we'd really appreciate it. Like, it'd be a huge help for us. So I did. So I became a coach. I became an honorary coach for the last 3 games. And there I am, either in outfield or in like third base, just screaming at these kids. And the first game, you should have seen the looks on their faces. It's like, stranger danger? Are you supposed to be here?
Do I listen to him? And he's saying go home, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So it was just a completely wild experience. And to kind of like... put a bookend on the story is the team was actually very good.
Okay.
Now, and I'll say this, to their credit, they all actually worked really hard. They all kind of took it. They wanted to get better. They were practicing, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit luck of the draw because like you don't know what kids you're getting. So it's like I don't want to overstate. Like, look, they're 6-year-olds. They're 6 to 9-year-olds.
Right.
So it's not great baseball, right? But to their credit, they really did want to win. They were like practicing, and it was really great to see. They almost went undefeated for the season, and then this week they went through the playoffs, and wouldn't you know it, Coach Trevor brought them the victory. They won the championship.
Oh my God! Did they lift you up? You're like, yeah, my dream. This
So I
is
had
happening.
too many summer beers. They could not lift me up. No, I played a very tiny part in that. I didn't even sit for the photo.
You didn't take any of this glory?
I think they would have let me be in the team photo, but I was like, I was just honorary trying to help out. So I stepped back because I did not play a big part in it. But just the same.
So humble.
I was part of his first baseball season at which they did this massive run and they won the championship. It was so intense. You're watching him play and you're trying to get this balance of, I don't want to be a sports dad.
Yeah.
Where I'm screaming at them and not having fun. But I do want him to capitalize on natural gifts where I want you to take this seriously. In that, look, we are trying to have some fun. There's nothing really that important about this. We're learning, we're having a good time. But try to hit the ball. When you run to first base, run fast. and I'll say it, and it fits his personality. And this is one of the key parts. Is that he was incredibly focused and incredibly serious about it. He wanted to go practice after games so he could learn to hit the ball better. He's like, throw me another one. No, I want another one. Throw me another one. So it was kind of kid led in that he wanted to take this very seriously. So I was trying to fill a spot that he had opened up to push him to be better, to kind of exploit some natural gifts that he has. Have you ever found that? But it's a wild balance, right? Because it's I don't want to push too hard, but I don't want to not help him reach his potential. Have you had something like this, Coach Jeff?
Not so much in coaching or sports in general, but I will say that having, just kind of rewinding on what you said with kid led, I think that's very important, because in our generation, or at least growing up with me in my lens, it was your parents would kind of dangle that love if you didn't do that well, right? So you going to practice was really just for their enjoyment. I have to please them, otherwise I do a bad job, and the car ride's horrible on the way back. That's awful. I do appreciate that you flipped that on its head and allowed your son again to ask hey, I do want to practice more because it's something that I want, versus I need to please you for love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Remember, kids, there's no Christmas unless we win the championship.
But kind of similar to your experience, I, again, not a coach, and we'll get to it later, I did go to see my dad who lives in the States, and he's come out to a baseball game, because he plays on an old man's baseball game, or baseball team, right? So my kids know nothing about baseball. And we're sitting and watching these games, and you said maybe your kid is more serious about this. These old people, oh my God, they are super serious about what's the play, who's out, what happened, what run counted, and it's all self-refed, right? So it's just
oh no,
bananas of what's going on. But we're there clapping on my dad.
See how it turns around. So we come from a place where it's the dads cheering on the kids, and the kid gets to blow up 3 sizes because oh, my dad's proud of me. And now it's switched around to where the kids are cheering on the dad, oh, Dad.
Honestly, it was the best thing ever. I've never seen my dad wave wave hi. I've never seen it. It's just something he didn't do. I don't know what his upbringing. There's a whole bunch of stuff there, but he was waving to us hey, I'm going up to bat. I'm oh, look, it's Grandpa.
That's awesome. That's fantastic connection. We both had the baseball stuff.
Yeah, look at that. See, you're coaching, I'm on the sidelines. It's all love of the game.
Oh, absolutely. So it was great. I'm just so proud of him, mostly just because, again, not because he won the championship, but because of how hard he worked, and how much he wanted it, and the improvement was fantastic. It's really as the dad, you're just beaming with pride because of when he first last point, then we'll move on. He didn't want to play t-ball. He wanted to be pitched to, so we snuck him up into an older league. Not snuck. We asked for the forgiveness, and they did. And at first, it was hard, so they had to cancel it out. For any kid who doesn't get hit enough, they bring up the t-ball.
Okay.
And so, which is kind of a sign of a failure, unfortunately, because you couldn't hit normally with pitch, so they get a t-ball because you have to move on. And at the beginning, they brought it out for him like 3 or 4 times, right? But he took that as the challenge, and he practiced and he practiced and he practiced. And by the end of the season, like 1 or 2 pitches, and he got it. He found his swing. So, there was those little like progressions, those little results of hard effort and work that, like, as a dad, you're just watching that and like your chest is like, your heart's beating out of your chest. I can't believe how amazing it is. He worked so hard and it worked for him.
Again, it's like a Souls like of life.
When you finally hit that combo and do the dodge at just the right time. Are you proud of me now, Dad?
That's right. Are you winning, son? Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I am.
Now so for that point, I want to hear from gaming dads. If you have any similar sports or just organized event experience, we'd love to hear from it at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. I do want to throw some shade, though, because you mentioned like adults.
Yeah.
Okay, and like I wish I could swear on the show. We don't do that here. But man, adults, chill the hell out.
Yeah.
I like playing baseball, and I've tried to play in a few leagues before, and I can't. I just can't. They take it so goddamn seriously.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, hey, see, I put on my coach hat and I bring them all over. Hey, dads, come on up. Listen, we're 40. We have jobs. The Blue Jays or the Cincinnati Reds, or like, pick your team, don't care about you, and it's never going to happen. We're just all here trying to make sure our joints still work for a longer period of time.
Right. Yeah.
Chill the hell out. Just relax, please. Because I have had, I've been trying to be on at least 3 teams, and every single time they just take it too seriously. I'm not saying you can dispute a call, but it's like, again, like I have to go file taxes tomorrow. Like, this is just not that serious. Like, relax, please. It's like, fine, I'm out. Don't worry about it. Let's go and have some fun. I detest adult sport, and I've been searching for a league, be it hockey, be it baseball, of a group of older guys who just want to sweat a bit and have a good time. Like, I don't know if have you dipped into any kind of adult sports?
No, the closest I've got was boxing, but everybody kind of knows the rules of that. But baseball I could see, or any kind of organized sports where it's a competition that you need teams to go up against each other. I could just see the competition grow, and like that, I need to get Dad's love again. All that trauma.
Look, I'm 50, but there might be a scout, and you never know. A scout might show up and be real impressed with what I'm doing here.
Exactly. I'll make sure the Blue Jays or the Reds like really feel sorry about not picking me.
Oh, Lord. Hey, gaming dads, if you have any suggestions on that, or you yourself had coached a kid and had those beaming moment of prides, write into us. We'd love to hear the story at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. So a device that you had great pride in, with this recent trip of yours, was the Nintendo 3DS, which seems like it might be a contender for the GOAT as far as consoles. Why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah, so this all stemmed out from a trip I was going to take to see my dad in the States. Booked a flight and everything, got the kids ready, had everything set, ready to go, and 3DS was part of that trip. So the flight is only 90 minutes, but, this 3DS would hold its power. I wasn't worried. Anyway, life happens, storms happen, and flights are canceled in the middle of the night while you're sleeping soundly in your bed. So, me being totally just winging it at 5 a.m., checking in with my wife to see, like, hey, can I borrow the car for a week? Decided to drive down into the States, 7-hour trip one way. And then it dawned on me, like, how am I going to keep the kids entertained in the car? Turns out, my friend, 3DS is a beast. Like, it carried us the complete trip there and back. No worries about charging, nothing. This thing just rocked it. Not a problem.
Like that entire, and it's so old. The thing is, like, if you cracked a new one out of the box, you could perhaps assume, like, okay, like decent power. But we're talking about, your systems must be what, like 10 years old, like 8?
Yeah, at least. Well, my son got it at 5, so he's almost 15. So yeah, 9 years.
So it is a 9-year-old device, and it managed to maintain its charge the entire trip.
Yep.
Without issue, and provided them. So what was the reaction? Were they playing it with aplomb and they enjoyed it? Like, was it sort of reluctant, like, oh, this old thing?
It was kind of what we feel with like nostalgia. Like they were happy to dive into a game that they experienced way back when, 9 years ago, and be like, oh yeah, I remember this, and go through like either continue their save file or start a new save file in, I think, a lot of Pokemon games and a lot of just downloaded games that they had sitting on there. Not a problem. It was just like fun to have it. This is great. Not a problem. I did have the Switch on me. We didn't manage to crack that. But even just with these games, they just seem to be so designed for the system that it just sips the power. Because the Switch does have a problem with like some of those AAA ones. They suck back and you have maybe 2 hours in a portable device. This thing, honestly, like Mario Kart, all these other games, they had a blast with it. No problems charging it. Wasn't worried in the car. Again, like a 7-hour stint of like, okay, we need to get to Grandpa's house before we get an outlet to charge the thing. Not a problem. Like,
That's so great.
it took like that weight off your shoulders. I really hope we get back to those days. Like, I understand that, you know, there's evolutions in gaming and people want more and more graphics, all that stuff. And it takes power to run those things. But honestly, like just not having to even think about where I need to charge this thing or if the power will go out, and like my kids would just deal, but still just allowing this thing to happen, pop it in the suitcase and run with it. It's amazing. I've never experienced that, even with my phone, right? Like it's just something that you have to, 90 minutes, got to charge it somewhere. Like,
They had refined, by the end of its life, they had refined. I was looking at, as we were talking here, we're looking at a video of it, and they had refined that design so thoroughly. They had so perfected it. It was such a powerhouse of a device as far as so many people had it. It was such a successful device, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I do want to kind of go, what's good about seeing your kids enjoy it is it certainly breaks the notion that it was a pure nostalgia play. It's like, oh, us like older generations, we just like it because it was our part of our youth and like it was mobile gaming. This was great. But in fact, like that use case you just described in a modern world, it's like, oh, you can just play on your phone the whole time. It's like, nah, man, it's probably lasting like 4 hours on like hardcore gaming on your phone, what you would call a AAA title. Like it's probably burning your phone battery in 3 to 4 hours, right?
Oh yeah. Again, my kids wanted to load Roblox onto their phones.
Of course.
And that burns through battery even worse than I think some of the AAA ones. So, yeah, this thing, not an issue.
And it's just so it's, I don't know. So previously I might think it's all just like pure nostalgia play, but you're seeing the fantastic use case of it. Is there any way to go back? Because like, unless like the Switch 2 is coming out, and I wonder if there's any version of that where there's also somehow the Switch 2 can have, full day battery. Not likely with current technology. Mm-hmm. Would they ever introduce like a retro 3DS that has like much like a mini? So they introduce, much like they did with the mini Nintendo, they introduce a nostalgic 3DS where it's just the 3DS, but it just has all the games already built in and still like the full tail. I'm just curious, can they ever occupy the space so that you can hit the exact use case you just described, where it's like, okay, you can give this to kids or you yourself, you can enjoy this thing for a 14-hour flight and not even have to bat an eye.
I mean, I'm hopeful that there's a resurgence in the mobile gaming market. I think a lot of people are, even with PlayStation, right? PlayStation Portal, like, hey, you can take your games on the go and connect in. And Xbox, I think, is looking at a handheld. So I'm hoping that even with that competition, that people are looking at like, hey, do we want to just be able to have that battery power and carry someone over a few days versus just having it all packed in and having your battery burn out in a couple hours. I think the only one to really look at that would be Nintendo. They're like, hey, we want kids to really enjoy it for a long time. But a lot of people go against Nintendo saying, hey, you don't have enough power to run the games I want to buy for your system. So it's like this balance, right?
Yeah.
And let's see what the Switch 2 does. But I do like, and you've always talked about it, is that clamshell design, because it protects everything and it's just so solid. It's like a brick of video game awesomeness. You throw in the car and then you crack and you can, that cracking sound of it opening, like, and you're good to go.
You could just put it anywhere. Like just throwing it into the bag with it closed, especially for a modern smartphone type of generation, would just be mind-blowing. It's like, wow, I could put it in this bag without worrying about this delicate, precious screen ever cracking.
Nope. Even with the Switch, I had to make sure the Joy-Cons were like, they're not being pressed against the screen because, the
forbid.
drift and everything. Like, anyway.
Break your $100 nunchuck.
Exactly, right? This 3DS can, withstand a car trip and whatever else you throw at it. So,
and just life, man. Just life.
Just life. That's right.
Yeah. Now, keeping with the Nintendo theme for a second, I did have a question for you. So my youngest birthday is coming up.
Oh, yes.
And where one of them has Pokemon Sword, the other one now is requesting Pokemon Shield.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, like I have a bit of a blind spot here because my exposure to Pokemon was kind of like when it was Pokemon, the game. This is the one you get. But then there was an entire series where it's like, okay, well, this is like Green Scarlet and Black Midnight and Purple Boogaloo, like whatever the hell they named.
We are so old. Yes.
So I do want, like, per my understanding, and you can, disabuse me of this, is that it's the same game, the exact same game, but there's just different Pokemon in it.
Correct.
Is that a correct understanding of it?
Yes. So that's the whole play.
So it is stupid, right?
It is in that you have to buy a whole new game or at least have someone with that game to trade for those Pokemon that you can catch. I don't think it's very many either. I think maybe 10.
Okay.
10 Pokemon I think are different. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's a handful of Pokemon are different in the one game versus the other.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have both to have a full collection or at least have the ability to trade with someone that has that game. So yeah, same world, same everything else. I don't even think the gyms are different. It's just the Pokemon that is straight up different.
Okay. And at this stage, like they have not my oldest, he had great use of it. He really did like the game. Like he was going he was beating everybody. He had blasted through this one Pokemon. He was beating everything else in like one hit type of thing. So it was fun. He got good mileage from the game.
Right.
But it's just like, at the same time, he wasn't trying to min-max everything. He wasn't trying to catch them all. Like it was very much just like he did the battles, he got the guys he liked, and he was destroying things. Liked it. And given that that's their context for this game, I do not see a good argument for spending another $80 on this title. It sounds like my thinking there is correct.
Yeah, it is correct. I mean, my kids also wanted both versions. They did end up getting both versions, and it does.
But they're completion. There'd be a bit more completionists, right?
Yes, they did want to collect them all. So they literally were Pokemon trainers. I need to catch every single thing, otherwise my list is not complete and my life is not complete.
No.
If your kid is not on that level, do you do a dad lie and be like, "Oh yeah, you could totally get those in the same game. You just have to find them." Like, people told me Aerith could be resurrected in Final Fantasy VII. I spent hours trying to do that. Not possible. So with this, do you create a white lie to your kids?
For that, see, the thing is, I don't. From my grasp of his understanding of it, he thinks it's a different game.
It's not.
Right. So if anything, I'd probably find there's another Switch Pokemon game, I think, right?
There's, off the top of my head, there's Arceus is another one.
Yeah, or one such like that. So basically, I think the better play would be, okay, so your bigger desire here is a Pokemon game. So I'll tell you what.
Right.
We don't need to eat McDonald's. We have McDonald's at home. So what we're going to do here is get you this entirely different one that, even your other brother, like it's a different actually experience. So we can do it that way. Okay. That is a good resolution to this actually. Is to instead, because they're not completionists, the value proposition isn't quite there. So let's just get a brand new different game.
Yeah.
Send it their way.
Whole new world out there, right? Go get a new gym, get a new character, all that stuff, right? New.
And then if I ever get into it, I get to play both. My other kid will get some benefit from it. I'm sure they'll like it because they can have a brand new Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Everybody
See?
wins.
There you go. Everybody wins. You figured it out. New Dad Gaming win live on air.
That's what we're trying to do here.
That's right.
All right. This will be a bit of a quick one. I did not want to let you off the hook for this because you enabled the dad mod in Alien Isolation, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Everyone went to see Alien Romulus, the new Alien movie out there. I haven't seen it yet, but I always loved the environments of Alien and really want to experience Alien Isolation, which I have on PlayStation, but it's too anxiety driven. I don't like being hunted by a literal alien that is very smart and is not scripted and will hunt you during the entire game. So what I did, Trevor, is I bought it on Steam and modded out the alien.
Just like, hey, take this terrible looming threat that produces all of the intense moments.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that.
Just get rid of. I'm having a blast.
I've never been more free.
I have never been more free. I could progress as much as I want without the threat of losing all my progress because the alien caught me. I love the environments. I love the design of the game. I just want to walk through a space station. So there's no more alien. I just modded that completely out, which is very easy to do. Anybody that wants to do it, I did it on my Steam Deck. Not a problem to do. And you could flip it back if you want. But I'm getting all these trophies.
You're so good at this game now. It's
I'm
amazing.
so good.
I am absolutely 100% support of
Good.
this. And we've talked a lot about, so the carry mod in Fallout 4.
Yes.
My soul reaping in Elden Ring to kind of get me started. Anything that for a dad with precious time that doesn't want to go through the grind and just experience something.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely fine, gents. I really do believe that. And with this one in particular, I heard others put praise upon that very mod because they would say something like, I love these movies. I adore this game and how they put it all together, and I can finally just walk around the world of the alien. And but this the gameplay part of it, I'm almost like, I don't want to do that. I want to just be in this space and look around and read all the little notes and really get into the lore and enjoy myself. So beyond I don't want to I don't have this difficulty. It's more that I prefer this to be a walking sim so I can experience the world of these alien films.
Exactly. Like you said, I just want to walk around. I want to be able to go to the little computer terminals and see all the little notes without the fear of something behind me and every little creak of noise. Because I already have that in life, Trevor. I like the creaks and all that stuff. Like, are the kids up? What are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. I don't need that in alien form. I just want to walk through as a dad.
Hey, so that's a good gaming dad tip and one that we absolutely support. Hey, gaming dads, you have similar type of thing. If you've tried this one or been put off from it and want to now check it out, give us a message at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. Hey, everybody, we'll wrap it up there for the week. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the podcast, you can subscribe to us on all the major podcast networks. You can find us on Google Play, Spotify, Caster, anywhere where you find your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. What really helps out, if you do that, is if you could leave a rating and a comment. It really helps boost the signal to other gaming dads. If you have any stories from today that you'd like to share with us, are you yourself a coach? Do you play in an adult league and you found a good mix? Pokemon stories, 3DS love, mods to make things easier. Reach out to us. We absolutely adore hearing from the listeners. So at New Dad Gaming on the social platforms or newdadgaming.com. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Huddle up. That was a really great game. Everybody take a knee. I'm really proud of you all. You all got out there and you hustled. You gave heart. And you're deservedly champions.
What a speech. Great job.
Yeah. It's just so natural. Just comes
that's
off top of my dome.
Coach Trevor. All right.
Till next week, everybody. My name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old.
And just remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.
Now, let's see. You can do an ad lib real quick.
When you mod out the alien.
All right, so let's see how your improv skills go. Remember, everybody, just because you became a coach
does not mean it's game over.
Okay. I would ordinarily say that's not very original, but it's pretty funny, so it works.
Does not mean you have to run to first. What's baseball term?
Does not mean a double play.
There you go.
No, I'm out. All right.
We did it.
Does not mean you're going to strike out. There's a make.
No.
All right. Nah. All right, everybody. Have a good week.
See you later.